Alright, we are back for round 1. On the draw, it's a pretty solid hand, which is nice. So my opponents... Okay, they just wanted to drop their land on the second main phase, alright. For a few seconds I thought they kept no land or they f6'd. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess it's a bit simpler, more simple, I guess. Not sure if you can say simpler. Well, either way, it is more simple to drop your land first main phase, if you have no play at least. I mean, you don't see. What I mean is that you don't see that very often. Okay, so that's the dude with this. Okay. So they most likely have the 2-3. I'm glad they did not play it right now. It would have been a bit game over, I think, actually. I mean, they could not flip it. They would not be able to flip it right away, but still, that would be very hard to beat. Either way, I'm gonna drop this Revenant and then Haunted Dead most likely. I guess depending on what the opponent does, I could also board Malevolence plus Slayer's Plate next turn. But I would assume if I drop the Slayer's Plate, they will use a removal on my Revenant, so it's quite a lot of tempo I would lose if I do that. Where if I play Haunted Dead, I can just first I can block the Ember Idolwolf, which is quite good. I'd be happy to make that trade, and I get a decent amount of tempo. Oh, since they played a creature that dies to Malevolence, now I'm wondering. And my opponent is also missing land drop, so I think it might change the math a little bit here. Because if I can assemble a 5/5 lifelink next turn, it could be game over. Slayer's Plate does cost a lot of mana though, and if my opponent has a sacrifice target attacking creature, I mean target player sacrifice an attacking creature, or I guess Silver Strike if they drop land, or any type of thing like that, it's kind of bad. Playing that now is kind of appealing though, when I have a nice thing to kill here. I think I'm gonna do that, and the reason I'm killing that now is also that my opponent is playing red, which means they might have some nice thing to madness out, like currently one of the best thing I can think about is what's the name? The 4/1 vampire. You can madness for 2, and also if my opponent for some reason doesn't have a removal here, they kind of lose the game on the spot. I think if a red-white deck, if I can hit them for 5 lifelink one turn, it's gonna be really tough for them to come back in the game. And if they have a removal that's sorcery speed or an enchantment like Choking Restraints, they kind of have to use it right now, and then I can drop my Crusader, which is then less likely to get removed from the game. And if they use a removal, it also means they don't pump the wolf, so I only get hit for 1. So I don't like drop and lose a bunch of tempo. A Bloodseeker. Okay, I think I can hit with that. Like for 1 white, there's not a whole lot they can do. I mean, this if they don't play another land. Yeah, there are no madness card in white they can drop for 1 white, I think. I guess they could block, switch the power and toughness and give +2/+2 to the Bloodseeker. But honestly, it's not even that great. Like I still gain 5 and they get 3 for 1. I think I like making that move. Feels pretty safe. And since the opponent is missing land drop, yeah, I think it's completely fine. It would be a bit more annoying if they had like 2 mana open and could, for example, tap my creature. But here I think it's pretty safe. It's just gonna be drain 5. It's not the best way to use my mana, but it really puts me in a solid position, I think. And the fact that I gain 5 of the deal means that even if they have some sort of, like if they use an enchantment here on my Revenant, I would have lost a bit of tempo because I equipped that, but since I get 5 life, it's not really an issue because like I take 2, like 5 life represent 2 turns of those creatures attacking unless they pump them, so I think it's completely fine. Even though I would assume my creature is gonna get I mean, something's gonna happen. Yevon did not attack here. So, well, if they want to double block and use some pump spell or stuff, I don't mind that at all. Ooh, Scavenger was a very good draw. I think this is gonna die, but I don't actually care too much. Because it's gonna die, but probably some blockings are gonna be involved, which means I'm still gonna gain 5. I mean, given my hand, given what my opponent has been doing so far, it just feels like if the game goes long, I'm gonna win anyway. I guess this could be troublesome, but well, I do have a removal, so I'm not even sure. I don't mind making that trade anyway. If my opponent wants to trade 2 creatures for that, it's completely fine. Oh, Abandon Reason, okay. So I guess it means I don't gain 5 life. Pretty risky play though, because if I had a Rimval here, my opponent would be in quite a lot of trouble. Like I would get rid of the Bloodseeker, and yeah, that would not be great for them. But here I guess it's fine. Okay, sure. I think I will play my land even though I have Haunted Dead, just because if I draw a land next turn, I might wanna, and I'm gonna lead with Crusader because I can threaten to gain 8 life next turn if they tap out. But yeah, I did drop my land because if I draw land, I kind of want to be able to play Haunted Dead and equip Slayer's Plate. Okay, so my thing is gonna get greeted. Not much I can do. The opponent had some solid answers to my 2 lifelinker here, so the game is, I was feeling pretty confident, but the game is certainly not over. We are still missing land drop, but yeah, I mean, if they start drawing their land and playing some good stuff, could see them coming back in the game fairly efficiently, I guess. So my thing died. I could play Haunted Dead and equip the Slayer's Plate. That's an option. Kinda wanna keep my land in hand to some extent though. Could play Scavenger, get back my Revenant and pass the turn, and offer a trade if they want. Yeah, I do have some options there. Keeping lands in hand is really nice for Haunted Dead though. I think I'll just drop Scavenger and get my Revenant back and pass the turn. My opponent already used, 1 removal and 1 Trick, so they might have hard time dealing with a 3rd giant lifelinker. Next turn I might play my land anyway, because I think I'd rather play Haunted Dead plus Revenant over Revenant equipping. It just seems safer tempo-wise. I'm always worried a little bit about losing tempo against a red-white deck, because you can easily be in a fine spot with a decent amount of HP, and then they play a bit too many creatures. While I mean, it's especially dangerous with high equipment cost. high equipping cost equipment, I should say. Attacking with both creature. Okay. I'm gonna block the Emberite Wolf. I don't mind making that trade at all. If if my opponent spend their turn just pumping that or using a trick to make the trade, it's completely fine with me. They might have a good thing to madness out, which means blocking here is not that great, but here I'm fine making the trade. Completely fine. I guess Senseless Rage is quite good here, I'm not gonna lie. But it means I can probably Compulsion the Wolf and Thorborg Revenant next turn and still be in a decent spot. Alright, Boon of Miracle, not bad. Yeah. I could try to keep that in hand to have the sweet combo with Haunted Dead. I don't think it's really worth it though. But here, let's say my opponent has something like a Fiery Temper. They kill my Revenant, attack for 3, puts a 3-drop onto the battlefield with their 4th land, and I'm at 11. Again, as I mentioned, losing tempo can happen quite quickly and quite easily in this kind of matchup. So this is why I'm still a bit worried. Either way, even if this happen, this precise sequence happen, I can still during my next turn Haunted Dead plus Boon of Miracle and come back in the game tempo-wise. But then I'm left with no cards in hand pre-match, facing an opponent with 4 cards in hand. I get 3 if they play 2 spells here, as I suggested, I guess. I'm glad if they tap out though. Okay, that's great for me. So they Spectral Reserved. I can live with that. Getting 5 life seems pretty sweet. The question now is, should I Boon or Deadweight, or should I just play Haunted Dead? I think one of the way I could easily lose that game is if my opponent actually has the second card here, the Garrison, and I don't have any removal left. This could really destroy me, even with a 5/5 lifelinker. So I kind of want to keep the Boon around for if they have the 2/3 Garrison. I don't really see myself deadweighting a spirit. I think I'm gonna play Haunted Dead. I'm not a huge fan of playing a land, but I think it's fine. And anyway, I will need a decent amount of mana to use with the plate in general during my turns this game, so even though 7 is a bit too much and not really necessary, I think it's completely fine. I don't playing with cards like that is always a bit tricky, just because you have to make sure every land drop you make is necessary. Otherwise, you might lose the ability to reanimate that. I don't know. To me, it feels right to play it right now, but and I don't really want to boon that thing. I kind of want to keep my boon around. Like, this thing doesn't seem too threatening to me. I haven't already used 3 madness cards. They might have more. I would assume they have more since they are playing the standard bearer, which is... I think you really need a bunch of madness cards to make that thing good, because otherwise it's just very, very bad. Also, it lets me trade for a spirit potentially, which I might want to do. Though maybe not, anyway. I don't know, we'll see. 1 red. I could see my opponent using a dual shot here, killing my spirit, maybe. I'm at a pretty comfortable amount of HP, but my opponent does have 4 cards in hand, so could be troublesome. That thing seems very hard. I mean, it does only have 4 toughness, but the first time it will attack, it will be an attack for like Well, it depends on the board, but if you don't have a lot of board presence, they attack for 13. You pretty much have to trade 2 creatures for the battlement, most likely. Okay, Bold Impaler. Don't really care about that too much, to be honest. Collective Brutality. There's nothing I want to discard in my hand. So I don't know, I kinda want to kill the Impaler. It feels like if I kill the Impaler, I force my opponent into some pretty bad blocks. I could also boon. They might just have a Silver Strike here. I don't know. Interesting that they did not attack with a Spirit token. I think I can deadweight that. It feels pretty fine play to make. I don't think I want to trade my spirit with one of their spirit when later on I could equip my own spirit with the Slayer's Plate. It doesn't seem very great. So my opponent might have another Abandon Reason. We saw 2 of these during the draft. If they do, there's not a whole lot I can do. I mean, I could kill that before attacking, but I just don't feel like doing that. I guess I could have Brutality the Impaler and put a Deadweight here. And maybe it's better. It might be better. I guess if they have another Abandon Reason... Well, I still want to attack with Haunted Dead, I think, because if they have another Abandon Reason, they kind of have to use it on the 2 creature blocking my Revenant anyway. Yeah, I think I can make that attack. I'm more and more thinking that the correct line here was to Brutality the Impaler and Deadweight that thing. And this way it's very unlikely that they can deal with that unless they have a Silver Strike. But I think if they had a Silver Strike, they would just have attacked. Okay, so they're just moving that thing, power and tough. They might just triple block here. It's a trade I'm completely fine to make. Okay. Yeah, I have no issue with that trade at all. Okay, well, if this is what they had, I think I'd rather keep a Rimvol in my hand. And I can move that here now. And pass the turn. I mean, they got rid of my life linker, but I have 23 life. Feels fine. If they attack with Spirit, I'm gonna block. Like, if they have a trick, I don't mind that. I don't mind them using a trick just to make a Spirit trade with a Spirit. It's completely fine with me. Also, if they do that, it means I can equip the Haunted Dead next turn, which is quite good to attack. Nothing. Another Haunted Dead. That was a great top deck. If I did not top deck that, I would just attack with the Spirit, but now it feels like I will have enough equipping things to equip anyway. Okay, something's happening. Maybe a Silver Strike on the Spirit or a Fiery Temper. Alright, alright. No problem. I guess that the second Haunted Dead should be very difficult for the opponent to beat. That was a great top deck, obviously. And I still have those 2 Rimvolts in hand. So I can even combine them to kill, like, you know, a 5 toughness super threatening thing. Not sure what it would be. And the opponent has only 1 card left in hand, actually. So they are slowly running out of fuel. Well, I will clearly block here. No problem. I mean, if you have a trick, sure. Like, I'm glad making you use your trick and then equipping on the Haunted Dead. That's completely fine. Write down, no problem. So actually I have the opponent dead here. Yeah. I don't really have to discard a card, but you know I might as well. Either way, I'm revealing my trick. I think it's right to kill them here. You could just continue to attack, and they would probably concede, but you never know. There are some sick cards in this set, so like let's say they top deck, you know, remove all creature from the game and put a 4/4 angel into the battlefield. Though they don't really have delirium. Either way, I think killing is rather safe here. I mean, I don't think that showing them brutality, which you know is a sorcery anyway, it's not like I reveal match, so I think I should just go for the kill. Mutation seems like a good one. I like that card against aggressive players. I might cut the Slayer's Blade though. It's kind of slow. It's pretty slow on the draw. In this matchup, I think it's only good and worth it if I have lifelink creature, otherwise it's potentially quite risky. Like if you spend 3 mana, and my opponent has a lot of Rimwall, which also makes the plate worse, I think. Yeah, I think this is not a card. I mean, it's a very good card, but I don't think it's gonna be great in this specific matchup. As Mutation can provide me with, you know, that card can easily win you the game against an aggressive deck. Well, that hand is tempting, but I don't think it's keepable. I mean, Skeleton I think is great in this matchup, but well, first there is one land, and second I have all my 5-drop, and yeah, that doesn't pair up super well with Swamp. With Mono Swamp, I should say. Okay, that's not great, but I think it's a keep. The opponent mull 2/6/2. They put a card on bottom, as I will put a card on bottom too. I don't like my hand too much, but it's not awful. If my opponent has a very good and aggressive start, it's gonna be quite tough. Collective Brutality was a great top deck. It means I can get rid of, you know, the Impaler, or a 2-drop they would play, plus maybe a Fiery Temper next turn. Because I feel like I can afford to discard my... Well, now that I drew the Crusader, I'm not so sure I want to discard the Brutality, especially since my opponent just missed the land drop. The question now is, should I kill the Impaler? Like, that thing is attacking only for 1. It's not gonna attack for 3 before a little bit of time. I think I will wait on the Brutality. I'll get more information which will let me choose if I want to escalate or not better. And the Impaler is just not a threat right now. So my opponent kept 1 land Impaler, and they keep missing land drop, which is pretty unfortunate. Ooh, now that I have a Skeleton, I'm much more inclined to escalate on my Brutality. Yeah, the opponent was already missing land drop game 1. They are getting really unlucky. We might see... Oh, an attack. That's interesting. Oh, so they have a Galvanic Bombardment, maybe? Or maybe they are just bluffing. If they have Bombardment, I think I'm fine taking one, especially since if they have Bombardment, Collective Brutality is gonna be quite great here. And I have a very nice discard outlet. So I think it's worth looking at my opponent's hand. And it feels like they have an instant, but maybe they are just bluffing, obviously. Yeah, they did have the Bombardment. I'm gonna pick that. I'm just gonna write down what they have. So, Temper. Oh, they have the Garrison. So that's the dude that can assemble the thing. Wolf. That's a solid hand. It's really unlucky that they did not draw land. I mean, I think that would have been a pretty interesting game if they had not missed the land drop. I think I could have done a good job, but I think with a few lands they would have won. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of unlucky from them. Either way, you know, it's a game. And they are still missing land drop. Yeah, that's really kind of sad, as I drew the best card of my entire deck, I think. Which happens to work very well with Sanitarium Skeleton too. And my opponent is still missing land drop. Ugh. Oh no, they hit their land drop. Okay. I'm glad for them actually. And that's the battlement, so bad things could happen. Bad things could happen. Okay. Voldor and Paria. That seems pretty good, right? So I could attack with that, and then if they switch power and toughness, discarding a card to trade, I'm happy enough. Yeah. They will probably not do that. The zombie enters the battlefield untap, so I can put a zombie and block here, and then if they switch power toughness, I can Grotesque Mutation. Okay. So it will be the first time I activate the Creep Breaker, which actually is probably gonna die. Well, I cannot actually do what I want to be doing because I have Temper and Senseless Rage, so it's probably gonna go wrong for me if I try to because I would block, then they would Senseless Rage their Ravenous Bloodseeker, then I would Mutation, then they would... Well, I guess if they discard another card... Well, the thing would be Senseless Rage, so it would be a 3-5, then a 5-3, then 7-1. But they might, you know, if they use their Temper on my token, then it means the Creep Breaker goes on, and I have the Skeleton, so with one more land I can freely produce the token each turn. I don't know, we'll see what happens here. I think I want to drop a zombie and put it in front of the Bloodseeker. Anyway. Okay, so they are doing it now. That's quite interesting. Not gaining life of mutation is quite bad for me though, but since I did it now I think I will not block. That's interesting. Thing is, if I don't block, they will hit me for 7 and kill the Crypt Breaker. Where if I block, I soak 7 damage, which is quite a lot. I could bait the Fiery Temper. I kind of want to gain my life of mutation. That's a really interesting spot. I don't think I want to lose 7 life. Like, my hand is super strong. Well, actually, yeah, I'm gonna let them hit me for 7. pretty sure they will temper now. I mean, no reason not to deal 2 more damage. They might get rid of the... I think they should get rid of the Crypt Breaker though. It's just too dangerous with the skeleton. Okay. And hit me for 7. Gavony unallowed. Thing is kind of annoying and tough to beat. So the Farborg Revenant is certainly attacking. My best play this turn is the unallowed. Yeah. Now should I keep the zombie back? Yeah, despite my opponent missing quite a bunch of land drop, they could win that, I think. They could win that. They might win that. Might want a double block on that. Then if... I mean, they don't have a trick yet. It goes super bad if they top deck. They don't have a trick in their hand, I know that though. I think I'm just gonna attack with the Revenant for now. If I draw land, I kinda wanna be able to activate the Voldarian Paria though, especially if they play the Garrison this turn. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting game, I think, all in all. So they have 4 creatures in hand, I know about. The Garrison, the 1/2 Haste Wolf. I wrote down Vampire. Oh, the Bloodseeker, they played it. So they have 2 unknown cards actually. And they have the 4/1 Vampire. I could also just jump block, and then I think this is safer and pretty decent. And have the Gavony unallowed grow. Now they play the Garrison. So if they attack, they will get 2/1/1 Red Human token attacking. But unless they top deck a trick, they cannot really attack with that. I think I wanna play Midnight Scavenger, get back my Crypt Breaker. Then next turn, if I draw land, I might be able to Crypt Breaker plus Paria plus use the Paria. It gives me a 3/3, which is pretty expendable and blocks the Garrison quite well. I think it's fine. Yeah, I want the Crypt Breaker. Yes. Okay. I can double block on the Garrison if they attack with that. Like, no, I can just block with unallowed, and even if they top deck their Abandoned Reason in the meantime, it's not gonna be that good for them. I don't think my opponent can really afford to attack with Garrison. At least there's no trick I can think right now that would be good, since I have the unallowed in the back. This game would have been really... I mean, like, right now I'm not in a great spot, and my opponent missed, like, their second land drop 3 or 4 times, I think. So, actually, if they had made their land drop, I think I would be pretty dead by now. Just, I did not draw enough removal to deal with what they had. We really got lucky here, I'm not gonna lie. I would assume that the Bloodseeker is attacking. I would be surprised if the Garrison attacked, though. I'm gonna take the damage. My opponent might wanna just hit for 5 and drop the 4/1 vampire. If they do that, I'm completely fine. Then I would probably Voldarian Paria, and unless they top decked another Fiery Temper in the meantime, which I hope they did not, they cannot really answer the Paria ability. They lose their whole board and 2 very good creature, and it's fine with me. Liliana's Elite. Not bad. So Liliana's Elite is a 2/2. Yeah, not looking great. I don't really want to sack those creatures to the Paria, and I think my opponent cannot still really attack next turn anyway with the Garrison. So I think I'll wait a little bit, play the Elite and the Crypt Breaker. And try to flip that next turn. I can sack the Crypt Breaker. It's not looking great in this current spot. Like, I think the move for me to make currently, I mean, it depends on what my opponent does, but if nothing too awful happens, I think I want to be sacrificing Elite, Crypt Breaker, and Scavenger maybe, or maybe Elite, Scavenger. Well, the Elite is gonna grow quite big actually. It's gonna grow up to a 5/5. So maybe everything but the Elite and the Unallowed. But yeah, I kinda have to block here because if they have a trick, I could die. I think I'm gonna block here. If they want to trade, I'm fine. Especially since they have to discard something. And I think taking damage is the only way I can lose that game, really. Taking unnecessary damage. Forge Master, no problem. Yeah, so I think what I want to be doing now is attack with the... Oh, actually, no, I should have flipped my thing first and attack with Liliana's Elite. Yeah, that's a misplay. That's a misplay. Yeah. I should have played. For some reason, I thought I should attack first, but I should have played the. I want to do that now. They are tapped out. They have 3 good things to sacrifice. Though I guess, yeah, it's better, and then I attack for 6 instead of draining 1. On the other hand, I could just drop a zombie. Okay, I don't really want to let... I think I'm gonna... Yeah, I think I should have done that first. Like, they are tapped out. This is the best time to use that ability. Maybe I should just keep Crypt Breaker, though. Yeah, actually I'm gonna keep the Crypt Breaker. I think it's just better than the Elite. So actually my play was fine, I think. Yeah, they conceded anyway. I don't know. Maybe the right play was to sack everything and attack for 6 with the Elite. Keeping the Crypt Breaker is quite good though, especially since I have a free zombie in this useless land. Sorry about that. And I don't really need another big body because I have the Abolisher. I don't know, I think both plays are fine, but in the end I would say that Crypt Breaker is better than a 6/6 Elite. I might be wrong though. Alright, either way, I hope you enjoyed that first match. I'm kinda sorry that my opponent really had troubles with hitting their land drop, but sometimes it does happen. And yeah, I see you for round 2.